015 6060 973 is the number. Have you changed your view of Keir Starmer? I'm going to turn for guidance first to Martin Abrams, spokesperson for Momentum, Labour councillor in Lambeth as well. Good morning to you, Martin. Lovely to see you.
Yeah, good morning, Matthew. Pleasure to be here.
So let's talk about the US trade deal first of all. Is it a trade deal?
Well, it's a Donald Trump deal, and I think that's the most dangerous thing because, as we know, Donald Trump, wakes up in the morning, often stays up through the night on his version of Twitter, Truth Social or whatever it's called, and he makes deals and breaks deals on a complete whim. And I think the danger with what the UK and Keir Starmer have done here is they've just taken the knee to Donald Trump, and it comes across, I'm sure, to many people as sycophancy. And, I think one of the biggest cards we could have played, which is a state visit, with all the pomp and ceremony, all the things that Donald Trump loves, being treated like the king that he clearly, or, an oligarch that he clearly believes that he is. We offered him that straight away. And now he's got that. I'm not sure he's willing to really give us much.
Come on, Martin, come on. A Labour Prime Minister has managed to do something that 4 Tory Prime Ministers failed to do on the bounce.
Well, if you look at the detail, Matthew, and there's not much detail.
No, there isn't, Martin. There's next to none.
We're actually worse off with this deal than we were before Trump started chucking around his tariffs like some crazed dictator. So we're worse off now than we were before that. There is some concessions towards tariffs on things like steel and cars, but I think and I know it's dangerous to say this because of the toxicity that was around Brexit. Our closest trading partner is Europe, and we seem to be kind of slamming the door on them and rolling out the red carpet for Donald Trump, who, in my opinion, is heading really, really quickly towards being a fascist dictator. Okay. And I think that's really dangerous.
Let's bring that from trade deals. Let's move to sort of the domestic political scene. Now, it is fair. I think it's kind of remarkable that the right wing press have basically had to acknowledge that Starmer's done well. I mean, even if it's only a memorandum of intent to do a trade deal, he's still done well. And I think to win the praise of a fairly poisonous right wing press is quite an achievement for a Labour Prime Minister, and yet he's got a growing, not yet massively threatening rebellion on disability cuts, but I think the noise of the discontents is growing, and I think it's going to continue to grow. So how come we have a Prime Minister that seems to be winning on the world stage, it's kind of losing domestically? Can you riddle me that?
I mean, it is a bit of a riddle. Keir Starmer seems very, very comfortable, flying around the world, posing with world leaders, and looking like a diplomat. But when it comes to domestic issues, which I would argue are far more important, considering the 15 years of Tory austerity that's devastated our public services, our crumbling NHS. And the like, he's less popular than Rishi Sunak, which is a damning indictment after less than 10 months in his premiership. And, the first chance that the voting public had to cast their opinion on Keir Starmer's premiership it was last week under the local elections and the by-election in Runcorn and Helsby, and it was absolutely catastrophic for Labour. Let's not beat around the bush. It was an absolute catastrophe. And I've, as a Labour councillor, I've been out knocking on the doorstep, talking to residents. I hear from residents all the time, and two of the biggest issues that they talk to me about is the cuts to winter fuel allowance and the cuts to disability benefits, and actually just how deeply unpopular Keir Starmer is. So, I think maybe
it'll change, Martin. Maybe maybe he was distracted, doesn't pay much attention to local elections, with previous administrations that told us don't really matter. Maybe he's been preoccupied with delivering on Brexit in a way that many